Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to create this bouncing ball stop motion animation in Dragonframe. This is a beginner's tutorial, so I'm going to go through each and every step in detail. So let's get started. If you're new to stop motion, we gotta make sure that our lighting doesn't change the entire time. So please try to avoid daylight as much as possible, unless you are just trying to check the movements. I am using two LED lights and I am bouncing them on the wall so there wouldn't be any harsh shadows or anything. Also, I have my camera on a steady tripod. I have taped the blue background, the construction paper, on my set as well with masking tape so it wouldn't move the whole time. I am using an AC adapter for my camera, which means that my camera is plugged in and I wouldn't ever have to change the battery. I wouldn't run out of battery because it's using the power from the outlet. So if you are serious about stop motion, I really think you should invest on an AC adapter because any small movement is going to show in your stop motion and you want to avoid that as much as possible. I am going to connect my camera to my laptop. I am using a clay ball, it's a Play-Doh actually, for this project, and I'm going to place it right in front of my camera. This is a keypad that comes with Dragonframe when you purchase it. I use number 1 and number 2, these two, to go back and forth between frames. This one plays what we have so far. Number 3 goes to the current frame, and this one takes pictures. I also use the loop button pretty often. I will be using these ones the most. So now that we took care of the light and the camera, let's open Dragonframe and get to animating. So I do have my Dragonframe right over here and I'm going to open it. So this is what you're going to get. And if you do have recent scenes, they're going to show up right over here. And they show the takes, and if you want more information, you can see them over here. But for today, I am going to create a new scene and I'm going to call it bounce for bouncing ball. And the default is scene 1, take 1, and here's the frame rate. So 24 frames per second is the standard in stop motion, and that is because European TV shows used to play movies at 24 frames per second. I believe right now they're showing videos and movies at 25 frames per second. Currently, TV shows in the US are shot at 29.97 frames per second. But still, 24 frames per second remains the standard for stop motion, and that is called shooting on ones. We can go halfway and shoot at 12 frames per second, and that would be called shooting on twos. Or we can pick any number over here and shoot at any frame rate. The smaller the number is, the more stutter your movement is going to be. So I'm going to stick with 24 for this one. All right, let's hit OK, and then you need to find where you want to save yours. Calling it bouncing ball, hit create and save. Okay, so this is now the Dragonframe program. As you can see, I have a black screen in front of me. That's because I forgot to turn on my camera. So let me turn on my camera. Now, this is a live view. I probably need to fix the placement in a bit. But okay, so this is a live view, everything is working and everything looks good. By the way, you need to make sure that your camera is set to manual mode. That is really important, otherwise any changes that you do might not be affecting your camera. So double check your camera and make sure the setting is on manual mode. Before getting into the animation studio, I do like to go to the cinematography studio, which is this camera icon right over here, and make sure our settings are nice before getting started on the animation studio. So let's go over here to the cinematography studio, and let me keep that out of the way for now. We'll get to that later. Okay, so if you need to zoom in and zoom out on your camera, well, obviously you gotta do it from your camera. But if you want to zoom in and zoom out just to check the sharpness of your image, you can use this bar over here and zoom in. Now we can do the focus and make sure that our character or our ball here is sharp. Dragonframe does not show the high quality images. So every time you are changing the settings and checking the sharpness of your items, you would want to make sure you're taking a test shot. Let me zoom back before doing that. So, and also these are all the camera settings. The first one is shutter speed. The second one is aperture. And the third one is ISO. Same settings that you do have on your camera. Dragonframe can change your settings from over here. Another very important thing that you would want to make sure that you check before starting shooting is the white balance. Make sure that it's set to manual. Otherwise, it might change while you're shooting. So it has to be on manual. Now let's take a test shot and see if our ball is sharp or not. That's not the sharpest, and also it's a little too bright. So I want to change the brightness on that. So I'm clicking on the camera icon, so it will show me the live view again. Now I want my picture to be slightly darker maybe. And let's zoom in and make sure our ball is sharp. Alright, now let's take another test shot. Okay, that looks pretty sharp to me. And also the colors seems a lot better comparing to this one. Yeah, this is much better. I think this is good. Okay, this is pretty much all you need to get started in the cinematography studio. The camera settings and knowing how to take a test shot. And then you can get started and figure out the rest of them, which I haven't personally used them that much. The only thing that I use from this section is mostly the camera settings, and that's about it. Alright, let's head back to the animation studio, this icon over here. And let's talk about what's happening over here. So this keypad, if you are using the Dragonframe trial version, you might want to keep this around, but if you do have it purchased, you can probably get rid of it because you do have the keypad in your hands, and I prefer to keep my screen clean. So I'm going to close this. And what we have on the right side of the screen is called X sheets. Traditional animators used to use X sheets to mark exposures and what's happening in each frame, if a frame is being on screen for a little bit longer, and what is the action and all that stuff. So you can use that as somewhere to put notes. The other very useful feature is, let's start with the first one. This guide is the same duplicate as this one over here. So I usually use this one. This shows the 16:9 aspect ratio. By the way, if you get this message, that means that you haven't used your camera for a while. If you see that happening, just press number 3 on your keyboard and you'll be fine. Okay, let me press number 3 to get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so this frame over here, this icon, which is supposed to be showing the 16:9 aspect ratio. You can change the opacity of it, and it will give you like an idea of where your image is going to be cut if you want to export your images as a video format, 1920 by 1080 size. Some of these are duplicates, like the grid is also a duplicate, and I do want to turn it on for this project because I want to make sure that my ball is in the middle, which it's not right now. and I will fix it in a second. The other very useful thing is this one. This will rotate your camera or the screen. So if you're using your camera and having it upside down to your settings, it might be backwards. So you can use this and it will rotate it to 180 degrees. And if you want to do a mirror, you can do this by using this one, which is not going to change a lot on my scene. This one over here shows how many frames you are taking and what is a current frame number. It's good to keep track of that one. And this one over here, all your pictures, the ones that you're going to take, are going to be stored over here, and you can scroll through them when you do have a picture. This key, again, 16:9, another duplicate that shows the aspect ratio. This one shows the frame rate, which we set it to 24 frames per second. This one in the middle is the onion skin, if you do want to use that to keep track of what your previous picture looked like. I don't use that often, but if you do like to use that function, it's right over here. This one will play your video backwards. If you're shooting in reverse, that is a very useful tool. This one will change the resolution of the picture over here, which I had mentioned. It's not a high-res picture. You can have a high-res picture if you click on this. It's going to make your program go slower, but if you want to see the high resolution, you can click on this. And this one, if you are shooting a loop, you can play that as a loop. And that's all about it. These are the most useful features over here. Another very useful feature that I really use pretty often is this one, is this pencil drawing layer. I am going to use it for the bouncing ball because I want to make sure my ball is going up and down in one straight line. So I'm going to use this straight line and create a path for my ball. So my ball is going to start at the top of that line right over here, and this is going to be the last frame where it hits the ground. You can use the other ones which are curved if you do have a curving move. If your character is jumping into a scene, you can use that one, or any of the other ones, a circle, a square, or play around and see which one works better for what you're looking for. Another very useful feature in Dragonframe is this increment editor. So for that, we need to select the path that we drew, which mine is this straight line, and we need to click on this. And we'll get this window that can calculate where your character in the next frame has to be at. Like for example, if my ball, I want to shoot my ball in like 8 frames, I can put number 8 over here, and it will divide my line into equal 8 sections, which can be boring. I'm going to warn you on that part. But if you want to give it ease in and ease out, these handles over here can do that. Now it's going to be faster at the top and slower at the bottom. Just remember, the more space there is between 2 of your points, the faster the movement is going to be on that area. And we can play that by this feature they have over here, this ball. You can click on the ball and even change the size of it. See, there's like that ball showing up on the top. And if you play it, it will play the ball. Oh, I'm playing it backward in reverse. Let's play it again. Okay. So that's the movement that you're going to get if you use this 8 guide points. Faster at the beginning and slower at the end. For this video, I'm not going to use that. So I'm going to put that back into 0 and close this because I'm not using that for this video. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Let's get started with our animation. Now I want to put my ball right at the top of this line, as I had mentioned. So let's do that. Oh, my camera's asleep, I think. Okay. Let's put our ball right on top. So the top part of the line is attached to the top part of the ball. We can take our first picture now. Okay, that's the first picture. For the next one, we want to move it just a little bit and take the second picture. So I'm going to take my ball and put it slightly lower right there and make sure it's in the middle. And I'm going to use my keypad to go one frame back and one frame forward to see how it looks. Okay, that's not entirely in the middle, so I'm going to move that. And let's play. Okay, that looks good. Let's hit enter. So there we go. Now we do have 2 frames already. For the next one, I want my ball to be a little further down, because when the ball is coming down, it's going to start slow, and then gravity will make it go slightly faster in the middle, and then on the bottom it goes slow again. So let's play and see what we have right now. There is our third picture. For the fourth one, I want to be even further than that, but since it's getting closer to the ground and I want to add a little bit of squash and stretch effect to my ball, I'm going to make it stretched so it would look like it's bouncing. It's exaggeration in animations. We don't want to do too much, but we do want to add a little bit of it. Where was it before? Okay, over there. That's a good spot. Let's make sure this is in the middle. Okay, let's play it before taking a picture. That looks good. There is our fourth picture. For the next one, again, I'm going to take my ball and stretch it even more. Okay, that's a good distance. Just keep in mind, as it's getting closer to the ground, it's going to go faster. We're putting it further away from the previous one. Okay, let's play what we have. Nice. That's our fifth picture. Let's stretch it even more for frame number 6. Okay, now let's play it. Looks good. There is our 6th picture. So for number 7, it's going to hit the ground. That means that I'm just going to take my ball, move it, and squash it. And just turn it around, and that would be a ball hitting the ground and being squashed. Enter. And then before our ball goes back, it's going to get squashed even more. Okay. Did it change anything from the previous one? Yeah, a little bit. We don't want to do too much. Okay, let's play it now. Good, I think that's good. Enter. And now our ball is going to go back up. So that means that it's going to turn into its original shape and then go back. So we want it to be round again. There is the round ball. Let's play and see how it looks like now. It gets squashed and turns back to normal, and then it's ready to go up. So let's take our 9 picture. Now we're just going to move it and put it a little bit higher, because again, it's going back up. It's gonna go slow, get fast in the middle, and go slow again at the top. Let's play it now. Cool. For the next one, I'm going to stretch it so it shows that it has some energy going back up again. Hit enter. Same thing, we can move the same thing, same ball to the middle. Same thing again. Nice. There is our 12th picture. And then I'm going to move that same ball over here. And let's play it. 13, done. And since it's getting closer to the top, we want it to turn back into its original shape. So slowly, we're going to have it back to the round ball that it was, and not be as stretched. So again, I'm going to make it even more round. Let's play it. Looks good. Enter. And then there goes our final frame of the loop. It needs to be super round for when it's on top. Okay, now let's double check with our frame number 1, see if they're in the same spot. Close enough, but this one needs to go a little bit higher. Now let's turn on our loop. You can do it from this key over here or from your keyboard. Looping on, and let's play it. So this is our bouncing ball. That's how it looks like right now. And I think that's pretty good. We need maybe one more frame for the last one, but that looks pretty good right now. Okay, let's hit enter. And now play it again. That looks good. I think I'm happy with it. So when you do have your animation ready, you can go to Files and export your movie by clicking on Export Movie. We want to make sure that the source is high resolution JPEG or TIFF file. The frame rate is the same as what we have over here, which mine is 24. And I am exporting all frames. If you're doing a range, you can do from like 10 to 20 as an example. I am keeping the crop to aspect ratio of 16:9 because that is the standard again. Please make sure that you are exporting it as MP4 H.264, and the quality needs to be on high. So you can check mark this one too if you want your movie to open after it's exported. I'm going to hit export. Let's name it. Save as bouncing ball and hit export. Okay, so this is our movie. Let's put it on loop and play it. Nice. Well, so this was what we created in like less than half an hour. I hope you like this video, and if you found value in this, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope I see you in the next one.